Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey y'all, welcome back to SunshinehazeCo. I am Aja A. This is your February tarot forecast. It's going to be your typical 4-card spread, looking at the overall energy for you for the month, challenges or obstacles that might be coming in for you. Because we are dealing with Aquarius for most of the month of February, there's also going to be a card in here looking at where we need to tap into a little bit of that air energy and think about some things, think some things through. And as always, a quick little soul message, something extra for you to take away with you from this spread, okay? Before I get started with your reading, this is a general reading. If you feel like what I'm saying is not resonating with you, go on and check out your moon and or rising sign, which I will have linked down below in the description box. In the description box, there's hella other links that I'd like you guys to check out. We are in a new month, so check out the February Pick a Card forecast. We started the month with a Leo full moon a couple of days before going into it, so check out that video. The Aquarius new moon will go up during this month as well. We are also now in the first Mercury retrograde of the year, so check out that Mercury retrograde in Aquarius video. And I don't know what else is down there, but click on them links and go watch them videos. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. This video is for my water sisters and brothers, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, and Scorpio Rising. And let's get right into your messages. The first card that you have coming up in your spread is in the position of the overall energy for the month of February. And you guys have a very interesting spread here. Before I get into your cards, you have this message of stop and receive, but then the rest of your cards are like, no, get it going. But I'm going to read these cards for you guys so you understand how these clashing energies are going to work together, okay? So gracious receptivity is what is the overall energy for you Scorpios for the month of February. And quickly, I want to talk about the numerology. This is card 28 in this Beyond Lumeria deck. And when we have 2 and 8, you've got those separate components of things coming together, balance, harmony, peace, and then also cycles and karma, the infinity energy, right? Putting them together gives you 10. 2 plus 8 gives you 10, which is breaking that down for numerology purposes is 1 amplified by 0. So you have this energy of Scorpio coming into a new space or getting ready to start a new chapter. But there's a little something that you got to do before. It is kind of what I'm picking up on. Scorpio, you guys are workaholics. Even though you are water, you guys are known for being like the most earth sign of the water signs, most earthy of the water signs. And because you guys are all about your bread, you're all about your business, you're all about having all of your shit together. And most of the people that I know that harness or harbor Scorpio energy, especially in their major placements, they have successful careers. They are always working, and it seems like they never get to take a break. It seems like they're always working towards something or on something, right? You guys, your message for the month of February is that you are still going to be working and it's coming in for you. However, there is a brief little pause that you have to take because you have to kind of get an idea of exactly how you need to make your moves, if that makes sense, okay? Scorpio, you guys like to do all this work and put all this energy out there, and you guys are continuously, you work with that earth energy of that due diligence and that, the foundational aspect, but your water comes in when it's like, okay, it's continuous, it's ever flowing. You just keep working and you keep going and you keep bringing on new projects and bringing in new people and then finishing that up, putting that to the side and then moving on to the next. You Scorpio, y'all rarely ever take a breather, okay? Your message for the month of February is not necessarily that you got to take a big old break, but you do need to give yourself times and in certain moments to where you stop and think about what you're getting ready to do before you do it, okay? Another message with this card of gracious receptivity is that You also, because you're ever flowing and you're always moving, sometimes, Scorpio, you don't take the time to reflect over the project that you just finished, or think about the lessons that you were supposed to learn from the situation that you just moved yourself away from. This card is saying, hey, Scorpio, you got a lot coming in for you, and it's coming in soon, it's coming in quick. However, you're not going to be in alignment with everything that you need to be in alignment with, and you're not going to have the tools and the resources that you need to maneuver through these new spaces if you don't take a moment to reflect on things that have transpired up until this point. You guys, February, we're in a retrograde. Reflect and correct. If you watch my videos, y'all know that's the slow. Reflect and correct. Retrograde season, okay? So tap into retrograde energy. Use it for good. Don't let it take you out. Use it for good for the month of February, and take some time to, I'm not necessarily getting the correct part so much for you guys, but definitely the reflect part with this card. So this is saying, Scorpio, yes, you are ever flowing. Things are always going. Things are always rolling. But when you complete one thing, pause, take a moment, reflect, give yourself credit, take the lessons that you need to take from it. Think about how you're going to move forward, come up with at least a plan in your head, and then continue on. So Scorpio, this is saying to keep going, but to slow down and also be more attentive to detail when it comes to your plans and the routes that you plan on taking. Next card that I have in your spread, Scorpio, is in the position of your crossing energies. So challenges and obstacles that y'all might be facing during the month of February. And you guys have the Fool here. And I'm actually not surprised to see this here, because I've been talking about how you guys are just always going and always rolling, and it's always something new coming in for you, always something for you to work on, right? The Fool card here tells me that, Scorpio, you're resonating with this energy during this month of you. I feel like you've got even more projects that you've thought about, that you've planted the seeds for, that are supposed to start transpiring now. And you might be in a space to where things are not lining up how they're supposed to, or you feel like there's a little bit of a lag. The reason that is happening is because this Fool energy is crossing you. It's saying, don't be impulsive. Don't just go without having any kind of thought. Usually when we have the Fool card in the upright position, it's like, yeah, balls to the wall, blow in the wind, do your thing, try it, do something different, baby. But when it crosses, it's like, ooh, proceed with caution. Just a little bit of caution, Scorpio. So you guys, the proceed with caution part is, the caution is, take a moment to reflect about what you're moving away from before you move into something new. Especially if there are things that you have to wrap up, chapters that you have to wrap up, cords that you have to cut, energies that you have to remove yourself from, or pull yourself away from. When you go into new chapters and new spaces and you haven't, it's like writing a paper. When you writing a conclusion to a chapter in a book, let me put it like that. When you have a chapter in a book and the end of the chapter, there's usually like a paragraph that kind of wraps the chapter up and prepares you to go into the next chapter. If the author leaves out the concluding paragraph in chapter 3 going into chapter 4, you're sitting there like, okay, cool, maybe I didn't need to do all that. But then you get into chapter 4 and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about there. When did that happen? Well, when did we do this? When did this character slide in here? So Scorpio, you have to hit all stops on your path. You can't California roll through them. Okay, you actually have to hit all stops on your path. And these stops are like periods in a sentence. You stop, you take a breath, you read over your sentence, make sure that it looks good, and you make sure that it's going to flow into the next part, and then you go on and you get into the next sentence, Scorpio. So your crossing energy, the Fool, is not saying that you can't get anything started, that nothing's going to get started, nothing's going to be rocking and rolling, but it is saying that, Scorpio, the reason why you're having so much pushback is because you're not taking what you need to take from your previous situations, from your previous projects, the good, the bad, the ugly that you're supposed to learn from, and applying it to the spaces that you're trying to move into. And therefore, when you come into these new spaces, you're not quite calibrated with where you're supposed to be, if that makes sense. So we don't really need to turn this into an upright position in the month of February retrograde season, but definitely take some time to proceed with caution. And proceed with caution is not, oh, I'm nervous, I'm anxious. It's literally just before you get going again, is everything wrapped up over here? Yeah? Okay, cool, good. On to the next. Next card that you have in your spread, Scorpio, is in the position of where you need to tap into some Aquarius energy and get innovative, come up with some new ideas. And you have the Knight of Wands. And I'm not picking up on court card energy here, so I don't really think that this has to do with any people. That's not the vibe I get from the card, but I do pick up on this impulsive energy of the Knight of Wands cards. The Knight of Wands has a lot of energy, a lot of drive, a lot of motivation, and a lot of good ideas, but he moves too fast sometimes. So with this card popping up here, where you need to change your mind, where you need to get innovative, and get some new ideas, is you need to think about how quickly you're moving and how you're moving. Okay, I really went over this with that last full card, but this Knight of Wands, as I was saying, you have these messages about, oh, pause, take a stop, take a breath, and then you have these other cards about like, oh no, get it going. So what this is saying in your spread, Scorpio, is that these pauses that I'm telling you to take are probably going to be very brief. Like, you don't get a lot of reflective time, which is why I think there's an emphasis here on making sure that you take advantage of it when you have it. So when you come into the ends of these projects, of these spaces, of these relationships, of these chapters that you're writing, right? Pause, reflect over your chapter, and then think about how you're going to make the next move. Don't just turn the page into the next chapter, because apparently you're supposed to be really soaking up the words from them last few pages before you get into the next, okay? The Knight of Wands also carries this energy of somebody who just, it's like they can bring in the energy that's needed for the things that need to get going. So Scorpio, another reason why these cards are here and that you do really need to pay attention to that gracious receptivity energy is because the way that you're aligning yourself, the way that you're shifting your energy, the spaces that you're ascending into, Scorpio, they're putting you in places that are a lot more positive and a lot more poppin', and almost in a sense to where you're going to interact with a lot more people, so your energy needs to be right. And that goes to say it needs to be protected, and you also need to make sure that you're exuding the right type of energy. It's kind of like you might have a little bit of invisible baggage you're trying to carry over with you into the new chapter, and you don't even know that you have it because you didn't stop to identify your baggage, which is okay. We're human, we do it, but you gotta at least feel it, Scorpio. At some point before you really cross into this next chapter, you have to realize that you are carrying this clear bag on your shoulder, and that is the reason why you haven't necessarily moved into making the moves with the fire element of the Knight of Wands. The clear bag on your shoulder is, okay, what was I doing here? You're supposed to look in this bag and see what you need, see what you got, and then, I don't know, put it in a cubby or give it to Goodwill. I don't really know, but you're supposed to reflect before you move on into your next chapters, into your next places. The next spots that you're moving into, whether that's like a place or a career or a relationship or an energy or whatever it may be, is going to be very different from how life looks for you now. And it's also going to always, the energy is going to feel like it's nonstop. Like you're not going to get to take a breather coming up here soon. So take this time in February while we got retrograde, slow it down energy, and actually take your breathers and reflect and correct. Last card in your spread, Scorpio, is in the position of the soul message, and you've got the fire element here. And I do just want to point out that you've got one energy popping up again. You've got 37, which breaks down into 10, 1 amplified by 0. So you start your spread with, hey, you've got new chapters, but you've got some things to figure out first. And then you end your spread with, okay, once you've figured out those things, you can actually get it rocking and rolling, and you can get yourself into this new chapter. The fire element card also comes with this message of desires. So I do feel that, Scorpio, the reason why you're trying to move so much and do so much is because you're trying to put yourself into a space that really resonates with the type of life that you want to be living. It's the life that you desire, right? Scorpio. Being hard workers, you guys know that things have to be done efficiently in order for them to play out and for the final product to be what it's supposed to be. So Scorpio, tap into your energy in that regard, and then tap into this gracious receptivity energy and allow yourself to learn and grow and change and transform from the things that you have already been through from your previous experiences. Take that knowledge, get a plan together, and then put that fire energy into play. I will say that, you guys, whatever it is that you're working on and what you were thinking about as I was talking through this spread, you're probably going to see it really start to come into fruition by the time we leave Aquarius, solar Aquarius season, and we leave this retrograde and come out of the shadow. So probably around sometime in March going into the spring, you'll see the seeds that you planted starting to sprout, if they're not growing quicker than that. Because 5 universal year energy, everything's changing continuously. Okay, so just keep that in mind, but understand that you got some things to, and I don't even want to say work out, you just have some things that you need to acknowledge before you move into your next chapters. And that's your spread. I hope it found you well. If you feel like you'd like your own personal reading, feel free to book one with me. I have my Etsy shop linked down below. There are several different tarot spreads that you can choose from on there. Just go to the Etsy shop, and then in the, I think in the filters space, or like the search bar, there's a drop down menu, and just click tarot. That will pull up all of my tarot readings. I also have a tarot reading for this new year. I've got 2 different versions. If you want to know what's going on for this calendar year, go on and book one of those as well. And I think that's all that I've got for you guys. I think that's all I got for you. I dropped all of my shameless plugs at the beginning. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will catch y'all next time. Peace.